Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and I am a second semester nursing student. And for today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about how I studied in Med-Surg. And if you've seen my previous video, you know I did not do too well when I started Med-Surg. It was very difficult for me, and for my first exam, I barely passed with a 77. And in my program, passing is a 75. So I had to switch up the way I studied and not completely, but change how I was studying in order to bring my grade back up. So for today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about how I switched things up and how I studied for Med-Surg and some of the study techniques that I'm still implementing now that I'm an OB. So if you want to learn more about that, stay tuned. So the first thing that I did that was completely different than how I previously studied was read the textbook. And I've made a previous video on how I studied in nursing school. And in that video, I talked about how I did not read at all, really. I just went to lecture, took notes at lecture, and that's kind of how I studied. But this semester was a lot different because Med-Surg was a lot more dense, a lot more content, and just more information that was needed to be learned and to be studied. So reading my textbook was extremely beneficial because my textbook was awesome and broke things down very, very clearly and very concisely. And I noticed for me that when I actually would read, things would just stick way better. And the way I read was, first I would skim the chapter before going to lecture and just kind of familiarize myself with the content before going to lecture. So when I was in lecture, I would be a little bit more prepared and know what was going on and ask questions on things that I didn't understand in the reading. And then after lecture, if there was still some stuff that I didn't understand as well, I would reread that specific portion, and that would, I feel like, help things stick in my brain a lot better. So that would be my first recommendation to you, is read your textbook. The second thing that I did to study for Med-Surg was the use of study guides. And study guides were really, really great for Med-Surg and just throughout nursing school, I've noticed for myself, because it places everything in one specific area versus having to flip through pages and go between different chapters. Having a study guide with everything that you need to know for your exam in one centralized location is extremely helpful. And I've shared in previous videos, my study guides typically are like 30 pages long because I include every single detail that I feel like is really important, specific to that disease process or what is being taught. So using study guides and making study guides is very useful. The next thing that I did to study was watch YouTube videos, and I'm going to share with you the most life-changing YouTuber for nursing students, and that is Registered Nurse RN. She is a previous nurse and she is the queen of Med-Surg. Seriously, she was like my second instructor. I will link her YouTube channel down below. What I would do is whenever I would go to the gym or drive in my car, I would pop on one of her YouTube videos, and she covers everything from the disease processes to pharmacology. Like seriously, Registered Nurse RN, you are my hero and I love you. So if you are taking Med-Surg, or you know, she has tons of other videos, but she is amazing and I used her resources tremendously. She also has a website and has tons of quizzes on there, and she is just awesome. So use her to study for Med-Surg. You will not regret it. The last thing, and I feel like the most important thing that I utilized, was the use of practice questions. And the reason why I feel like practice questions were so helpful is it really got my mindset into choosing the best answer. And for Med-Surg, things can look really good in a question and an answer can look really, really good, but there's gonna be that one answer that's a little bit better. And so some places where I pulled my practice questions from include the Saunders book, my textbook, which I'll grab. This is my textbook. Amazing test questions in here at the end of each chapter. I would use Registered Nurse RN's website. She has tons of quizzes on COPD, diabetes, different medications, like everything. I swear, Registered Nurse RN is my girl. And ATI, that was the other resource that I used. And some nursing schools use ATI, some don't, but ATI is very, very similar to NCLEX style, or they are NCLEX style questions. And so they are gonna be those tricky questions where things may look right, but there's a better answer. So using test questions definitely, I feel like, improved not only my thinking in terms of how to answer a question, but also it would really test me to see if I knew the material or not. So using test questions is hands down recommend, big time recommend. Those were the ways that I studied for Med-Surg, and those are the things that I'm still implementing in OB, which I'm currently in now. And I actually did really well on my first OB exam. I got an A. So I would say that my new ways of studying have really helped me and are hopefully gonna help me throughout the rest of my nursing school career. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below on how you study or if these tips are helpful to you. I'm trying to get in the swing of recording more. I know I say that every time, but I'm really, really trying for you guys. So thank you guys for all of your support. Make sure to like this video, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.